Hope your morning is quite okay. And of course, as we're heading into the weekend, yes, like I always say, our time to sit down back and try to strategize and take a look at what really didn't go right during the week and try to rectify it. That is during the course of the weekends. But of course, I know there is quite lots of excitement amongst the different individuals. Well, that is quite a milestone for you to have been able to actually accomplish the week the way you have accomplished it this morning. So that is quite something to think about. But of course, never forget to reflect on what the coming days will be like, despite what we're heading to. But of course, business as usual has to keep on moving. That is 24/7, regardless of whether you having your holidays, going now to weekend holidays. Regardless of that, the business has to keep on moving by all means. Well, quite lots of conversations coming up, but of course, before we get there, don't forget the markets on the Zabo platform, which are going to be opening at exactly 8:15 a.m. Of course, till all the way to 3:15 p.m. East African time, and this is effective Monday up to Friday, except on the weekends when you can access these markets. But at least you have the rest of the days to capitalize and make quite a huge profit for yourself. Well, you can buy government bonds and securities for as little as 15,000 Ugandan shillings, but definitely you can choose to pay more than that. But Zabo simply says, well, come with 15,000 and life will be made much more easy. So there is no excuse as why you're not owning government bonds and securities with such an opportunity that Zabo has availed for you as an individual. Zabo simply says, my money, my future, and all Texas East Africa says do something new. Well, now heading straight into our morning call, of course, there is something that you need to understand about the World Bank, which commenced its 2022 Poverty Assessment Report. And actually, this was focusing on strengthening resilience to accelerate poverty reduction, that is in the country Uganda. Now, the report key findings highlight that is the inequality in opportunities and digital transformation. Now, according to the central bank, we see that just 1% of Ugandans earn more than, that is 1 million Ugandan shillings. Yes, something which probably needs to be looked into very deeply. Now, according to the report, still further, between 2019 and 2020, about 30% of Ugandans were poor. And of course, a percentage that is slightly lower than 31%. That is in 2012 and 2013. Now, World Bank assessments indicate that poverty headcount rate is in 2012-2013 was at 30.8% and rising to 31.8% in 2016-2017 and reducing to 30.1% in 2019-2020. But worst of all, about 90% of farmers reported a climate pain as the sector had been hit over the last decade. And of course, hence leading to a shock and poverty accelerator at the same time. So you can see the poverty ratings, 2013, 2012, 2013, 2016, 2017. And of course, it's like as though it was returning back, but then in the preceding year, it went back still in the reduction. Of course, we see the farmers complaining of the climate pain as the sector had been hit for the last decade. Now, Bank of Uganda Deputy Governor, that's Mike Watingigo, says that about 70% of the country's population is engaged in rain-fed agriculture and, of course, making their incomes vulnerable to climate change. All right, that is from our morning call regarding the World Bank poverty assessment in regards to the country of Uganda. Well, now crossing over to what's making headlines into the press. Of course, today, let me review the Daily Monitor first, and we take a look at what's really happening, and it's making some sort of business sense. Well, heading straight to the Daily Monitor, taking a look at, of course, saying that no money for LC polls as their term really expires. Well, we shall be getting the details in there, but that is just on the top page of the Daily Monitor. And also, of course, taking a look at Masaka Road closed. That is over floods. That's the Masaka Mbara Highway as Katonga actually flooded, which accelerated massive jam right there. And of course, we take a look at the budget crisis here, that about 80%, 80,000 local council about 80,000